I was just doing some gardening and thought I would do another YouTube. So, in the times of change, and for me, there's been a lot of big changes, not just for all of us, like the virus, but also the yoga story, and finding out about so many yoga teachers, males in particular, that have been sexually abusing their students, and also exploiting and dominating and suppressing the truth by, ostracizing people in many ways. I'll put a link to a really good website into my YouTube channel where I will post this. So there's a lot of stuff to be aware of, but there is another approach, which is that you already know these things are going on. You're not shocked anymore. You're kind of aware of it. And then just to do your best, just to listen to other women who want to share their story, to allow yourself to notice if you behave in a way where you give away your power and why you might be doing that, but also that, of course, there's a place for give and take. There is a place for being a student and, being the teacher. And yet it should be always respectful. And it's the same with what's going on in all changes in our lives, including this whole massive, incredible situation that we're all in globally. So what is it that we can actually do according to whatever I've studied and experienced, and what I feel would be useful? First of all, is really to go into the observer mode as much as possible. So I'm using, by the way, essential oil. That's why it's here as an insect repellent. I have a few mosquitoes buzzing around, so I love using them because they're so powerful and I really enjoy them. I'll put some links in the YouTube as well below of things that make my life feel more comfortable and more elevated and more joyful, so that maybe you want to enjoy it as well, including a link to the Premka book about Yogi Bhajan. It's an incredible book to learn about a lot about cults, why we do what we do, how we might not notice that we're being taken for a ride, or that we are not honoring our truth, and how that can happen in that era. Of course, now we're much more emancipated and much more empowered. I really do feel that. And yet at the same time, there's different forms of brainwashing about the beauty industry, and how so many people now, I don't understand it, are doing this incredible amount of work and spending so much money on getting nails done a certain way, and eyebrows artificially manipulated, and whatever else. I know there's aspects in all of us. I get my hair put highlights in, I do wear mascara and lipstick, and so it's not like I don't do it. To me, that's just embellishing and having fun. It's like art. But I also know, like everything, there's always a spectrum. That's one of the biggest things, if anything, I've ever seen. When I reflect, there's always a spectrum. So how far are we going with it? How far are we healthy in it? And how far is it actually serving us? Because obviously there's also then in the past, and even now probably, that they're using products that have been tested on animals, and that also products are not healthy for us. They are actually absorbed into the skin, and they're causing other problems. And so becoming wise and being broad spectrum, having fun, being okay to make mistakes, all of that is in there. So it's never going to be black and white, because look around you in nature, the ultimate one that will win anything, because as humans, in essence, if we disappear, the world will go on, the universe will go on, and we're a beautiful gift and a part of it. And yet at the same time, if we don't use it well, and we haven't used it so well lately, and then we won't evolve. I feel currently we're going through a massive evolution stage, going from a 3D reality of physical, and raising our conscious through the fourth, fifth, and sixth, and beyond. And many of us are already there. We are able to realize there's a big drama down here and observe it, and we can step into it when it feels like the right thing to do, or we can stay out of it completely, and it's a choice. And also seeing things through the lens of love, and that is a love that's not something you can describe easily. It's kind of a love of realizing the perfect imperfection of the unfolding of the universal truth. So allow yourself to know, as you close your eyes perhaps and relax, that you also have that awareness inside you, that The intelligence of the cosmos is inside you and in all of us. And that we can tap into this as we relax. When we're uptight, we're in the fight or flight. We're not in reality. We're in a program in the head, and we're only seeing what we expect to see, and we only respond out of a sense of a need of survival. So you could call it a reality, but it's really not. It's actually mostly made up and projected, because in that state we only see what we expect, and we only see what matches that vibration. It's just one particular way of seeing things. So as you relax, allow yourself to just breathe slowly and deeply while I'm talking, while you're doing whatever you're doing. And know that as you slow down that breath and relax into the body, your immune system will work better. That's a science, that's not airy-fairy. Your digestion will work better. You will make better decisions because you come from a place of clarity and calmness, which is usually very creative and opens you up to amazing opportunities. And so even if the world goes into an apocalypse or whatever, you can still be the one who is active, yes, but also observing and choosing what you want to be active in. This is the beauty of the idea of observation and even watching thoughts and belief systems passing by. Very yogic, very much about raising our consciousness to expand it beyond what we normally might think, especially when we are fearful. When we're fearful, we tend to go and regress back into more of a primal state, and we can really spiral down the more we tap into fear. Just like the more we tap into love and healing, we can elevate, and suddenly we have new ideas. We might create a new community. We might plant something that everyone can benefit from. We might remember a remedy that's really old and that really helps us boost our immune system. And we might just realize that it's okay, everything will pass, like everything does. And the best way to go through it is to be observant and present and relaxed, and know when to take action, obviously, as well, from a where you might be more dynamic. So that spectrum I was referring to goes for everything. It goes for the beauty industry, it goes for yoga, it goes for listening to a master and embodying it, it goes for dealing with a virus or any other sort of situation. I mean, the virus itself isn't even bad. It's more what we are doing around it and what's happening. And it's like money. People say money is evil or whatever. It's not. It's how it's used. It's how we relate to it. And the same with relationships. Some people have had horrible relationships and they will say relationships are just bad and they're a waste of time. But it's how you are in them and how you want to learn from them. And relationships can be heaven or hell, right? Money can be used for the worst possible things and for the most highest things. And viruses have been part of life forever. It's not like a shock. If our immune system is healthy, we constantly are getting rid of negative viruses or creating immunity through our incredibly complex immune system that still science doesn't understand. There is so much science is not even understanding deeply. And so as a scientist, I can say that, and being involved in medical research as well, and I just know. And also now we have the information of the mind is so powerful, what people can do when they are actually using thoughts to create their reality consciously, because we are already manifesting and creating 24/7. So let's choose the thoughts that actually work for us. Like, I am choosing to create a life that suits me. I'm choosing to be adaptable. I'm choosing to breathe deeply, even if sometimes I feel the tension. I am choosing to be okay with my emotions and to meet them and to watch them like a colorful movie of my life. I am choosing to feel empowered and to trust my intuition. So there are all these choices, and the mind is so powerful that people have created miracles with their minds. There's so much evidence about that. There's books written about it, there's YouTubes on it, because and even if you look at the placebo effect, how much of actual medical science is even placebo? How much of anything is? This is a very deep thing. I feel that we are really awakening more deeply to the power of the mind, and to realize that every situation depends on pretty much your observer state and how you view it. So you can ask yourself and write this down and journal if you're in a journaling mode, or if you're going to sleep or contemplating, how am I viewing the world? Do I view the universe as incredibly intelligent, huge, and on my side, full of infinite potential that all I need to do is tap into? Or do I feel small and restricted and like life is really tough, which is possibly a program from your upbringing? You can choose to change that. And I teach people that. I teach people one-on-one. I teach people in yoga. I teach it whenever I can, because the more people realize this, the more we're going to lift as a collective to really acknowledge our personal power, our capacity to choose thoughts, and our capacity to regulate that just by even breathing differently. Like I always talk about, the breath is so interlinked with how you think and how you are, which is interlinked with your body. And you are not separate from the body. You are more than the body, far more, but you are experiencing through this vessel, and the way you look after the vessel determines also the way you are interacting with life and experiencing life, and the lenses we create and you create. So we're all these amazing creators, and so let's use this moment to realize, wow, so all these news are out there, all these ideas, these beautiful people, these scary people, these potentials. Let's just sit in it and see, what do I want to create from this? What do I want to make out of this? If I only had 1 week left to live, what would I do with it? If I had 2 months left to live, if I had 5 years left to live, if I had 50 years, what is the highest thing that I can do? And that's a question I like to ask myself all the time, because not because there's this virus going around, or because my whole concept of something has died. No, but because it's a constant reflection, a constant invitation to be able to reinvent ourselves, not in terms of being fake, but in terms of realizing our capacity and our potential, and then being able to choose it, like a dial on a TV or a radio station, and being able to say, hey, I would like to experience that and explore that. I would like to offer this to the world. I would like to, you know, really change things around that were hard to imagine before. I want to inspire others. I want to be able to do things that have been unthinkable in terms of consciousness. And guess what? It's happened way hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and there's so much knowledge around that. And all these wise beings that channel will tell us, you are beautiful, you are love, you are a perfect divine creation. And that is what it is. It is not a flawed thing that we are unique. It is not a flawed thing that we have forgotten who we are even. But right now is a choice. Do we want to remember who we are? And if so, let's do it. Write it down. Write it down in your journal, because that's, like I say, part of manifestation, part of neurocognitive change. It's part of you taking action and meaning it rather than another random thought. So write down, I wish to explore what is my maximum potential here with ease and grace. So I teach this. I teach how we can invest and imagine our future, how we can live up to it and elevate to it. And we all can do it without a doubt. Just like we all have centers of consciousness, just like we all have fear and doubt and tough moments and easy moments and unconscious and conscious moments. This is the beautiful mix and the soup we live in of consciousness. And it's beautiful when you look at the millions of stars, and you feel really humble when you look at the millions of leaves and insects and the cloud formations and the incredible ocean. All this is within us. We are part of it. So let's choose how we want to use it. Let's choose how we want to explore this whole thing, and what we want to shift. Not because we're not good enough, but because we may want to peel back layers that are not serving us anymore and create new dimensions. I love it. So be present, feel the body, roll the shoulders back, relax, and just observe whatever it is that's around you, your thoughts, your sensations, what you can hear, what you can feel. Enjoy, have fun. Remember the inner child. Super magic, super powerful.